Hello all, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing great. Today our topic is another story. Before we move forward, take a pause for a minute. Please like our channel and subscribe. Also share. Now the story, which is Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore. No, it's not in Bengali. This is translated version. He's reading the English story, the translated one. So let's begin. Before we move forward, take a pause for a minute. Please like our channel and subscribe. Also share. Kabuliwala, Rabindranath Tagore, translated version. My 5-year-old daughter Minnie is a chatty girl and likes to talk all day long. It took her about a year after being born to acquire the talent for language, and since then she has not wasted a single wakeful moment of her life remaining silent. Often her mother chides her to keep quiet, but I can never do that. Seeing the girl mute even for an instant seems so odd and unusual to me that I find it unbearable. That's why my conversation with Minnie is often feisty. One morning, as I had just started writing the 7th chapter of my novel, Minnie walked into the room and began, "Dad, our sentry Ramdayal doesn't even know how to pronounce the word crow. He is so backward." Before I could begin to enlighten her on the differences between languages, she launched into another topic. "See, Dad, Bhola was saying that when elephants lift water with their trunks and spray it from the sky, it rains. Dear, oh dear, Bhola can speak such nonsense. He can rant day and night without making any sense." Without waiting for my opinion on it, she asked me out of the blue, "Dad, who is Mom to you?" "Sister-in-law," I thought to myself, but to Minnie I replied, avoiding the complicated question, "You go and play with Bhola. I have some work now." At this, she flopped beside the writing table close to my feet and began to play a game of knick-knack with her hands and knees, rapidly chanting a nursery rhyme. In the 17th chapter of my novel, Pratap Singh was jumping off the high balcony of the jailhouse at this time with Kanchanmala into the river below the dark of night. Stopping her game abruptly, Minnie ran to the window, which overlooked the main road, and began calling out at the top of her voice, "Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala!" A tall, shabbily clothed Afghan street vendor with a turban on his head, a bag over his shoulder, and a few boxes of dry grapes in his hands was passing through the street slowly. I have no idea what flashed through my daughter's mind at the sight of this man, but the moment she saw him, she began yelling. I thought this nuisance with a sack over his shoulder will show up in a moment and I won't be able to finish writing the 17th chapter of my novel. But the moment the Kabuliwala, at hearing Minnie's call, turned around with a smile and approached the house, she dashed inside and couldn't be found anywhere. She had this childish fear that if someone looked through the bag of this Afghan man, several living children like herself would be found in there. Meanwhile, the Kabuliwala stepped into the compound and stood at the door with a smile and an Islamic salute. I thought, although the characters in my novel, Pratap Singh and Kanchanmala, were in dire straits, it would be unseemly to call the man all the way to the house and not buy anything. I bought a few items and soon I I was involved in a rambling conversation with him on various topics, including Abdur Rahman, the Emir of Afghanistan, and the frontier policy of the Russians and the British. Finally, as he was about to leave the house, he asked, "Sir, where is your little girl?" To break Minnie's unfounded fear, I called her from inside the house. She came and stood nervously, pressing against my body and looking suspiciously at the Kabuliwala and his bag. The Kabuliwala took out some raisins and apricots from inside the bag and gave it to Minnie. But she refused to take them and remained pressed against my knees with a redoubled suspicion. That was how their first meeting ended. A few days later, as I was leaving the house in the morning for some important work, I saw my tiny daughter sitting on the bench next to the door and speaking non-stop with a Kabuliwala, who was parked next to her feet and listening to her with a grin and interjecting now and then in broken Bengali to give his opinion. In her short 5-year life, Minnie had never found a more intent listener before other than her father. I also noticed that she had lots of nuts and raisins tied up at the loose end of her small sari. Upon discovering this, I asked the Kabuliwala, "Why did you give all this to her? Please don't do it again." With that, I took out a half rupee coin and gave it to him. The Kabuliwala took the money without any hesitation and put it in his bag. On returning home, I found that a full-scale row had broken out over the coin. Holding the white, round, shining piece of metal in her hand, Minnie's mother asked her in a rebuking tone, "Where did you get the coin?" Minnie replied, "The Kabuliwala gave it to me." Minnie answered sobbingly, "I didn't ask for it. He gave it on his own." I stepped in to rescue Minnie and took her out for a walk. I learned that this was not her second meeting with the Kabuliwala. He had been visiting Minnie almost daily, and by offering her pistachio nuts, he had already won a large part of the girl's childish heart. The two friends had a few stock phrases and jokes which were repeated in their conversation. For example, the moment she saw Rahmat, my daughter would ask with a hearty laugh, "Kabuliwala? Oh Kabuliwala, what is in your sack?" Adding an unnecessary nasal tone to the word, Rahmat would roar, "Hathi!" The essence of the joke was that the man had an elephant in his sack. Not that the joke was very witty, but it caused the two friends to double up in laughter. And the sight of that innocent joy between a little girl and a grown man on autumn mornings used to move me deeply. Another routine exchange between the two was, whenever they met, Rahmat would tell the girl in his characteristic thick accent, "Missy, you should never go to the in-laws." Bengali girls were commonly familiar with the term in-laws, but practically since birth. But being more modern, we chose not to load our daughter's mind with precocious thoughts at such a tender age. That was why Minnie could never fully understand Rahmat's advice. But to keep quiet and not respond to a statement was contrary to Minnie's nature. Therefore, turning the phrase into a question, she would ask, "Will you go to your in-laws?" Making a huge fist with his hand, Rahmat would pretend to punch at his imaginary in-law and say, "I will wallop my in-law." Thinking of the plight of the unknown creature called father-in-law, Minnie would explode into laughter. Now this much we keep for this episode. This is the part 1 of the story. Next day we will be reading the next part. Now here are some question answer time. After reading this much of story, we teachers can enlighten children about who is a Kabuliwala and the Afghan scenario, why they used to come to India, rather Kolkata, to sell their products and which products they used to sell. For that, there is a very good article. The link will be shared in the description box for this. You may use the same. Next, there is a video on Kabuliwala, a trailer video of the movie Kabuliwala that also could be shown to children as a hook to the story. The same link would be given in the description box as well. Next, the questions that could be asked: who is Kabuliwala or who is the Afghan vendor? Who is Minnie? How old is she? Who is Minnie's father? And how do children get to know that? Who are the characters in Minnie's father's novels? What are they doing in the novel? How was Minnie's character? How was Minnie's father's character by the part till the part that we read just now? Till then, you may ask some descriptive questions like that. We can ask to describe Minnie's first encounter with Kabuliwala. How was it? What did they do? What Minnie used to think about Kabuliwala and his customary sack and all the things. How was Minnie's mom reacting to this, inappropriate age friendship when Minnie was a little child and Kabuliwala is a full grown up man, yet there was a friendship between these two. How Minnie's mom and Minnie's father both were reacting to it, and what were the differences between their reaction. Then we can again ask questions about how was the second interaction between Minnie and Kabuliwala, and why Kabuliwala used to give all the stuff, or which stuff Kabuliwala used to give to Minnie, how Minnie's father discovered this, all these questions. Then we can ask some contextual meaning also, like redouble suspicion, what is interjecting, what is precautious, all these words. Now this story can be read for children across grade 7 to grade 12. Children can read this story and they can answer this question. Questions can be given both in direct way, in objective pattern, and even in reference to context, and long answer questions as well. Thank you for being with us. Hope you all have enjoyed. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, do not forget to comment. Your comments are precious to us. We will meet you soon. Bye bye. Take care.